welcome back to my channel. You know, every single video of mine you are going to be disturbed with Kiara, so be prepared for that in all of my videos. But today we're going to be talking about breastfeeding, so I'm going to tell you guys my schedule, some tips, and some signs of infection and stuff like that we'll go over. So I exclusively breastfeed Adeline, so no bottles, no pumping. It's just exclusively breastfed. I haven't supplemented with formula, I haven't had to. Yeah, so our schedule, when she was a newborn, it was every 2 hours I would feed her, so it was like kind of impossible to have a schedule. We just, every 2 hours we just fed and nursed, and with that we kind of like meant we had to stay at home most of the time. But I had a little app on my phone, so it would be like, it would let me know when the 2 hours was up, but it's kind of just like when you notice the signs of her being hungry, we feed her. Kiara, you need to relax. Come here, come sit. Come sit. Good girl, stay. Good girl. So yeah, now that she is 2 months, we nurse every 4 hours. So how that usually goes is, so I usually nurse her at 8 right when we wake up, and then I wait 4 hours after that, which is usually around 12, but I end up feeding her more around 11:45 because we usually have to go bring lunch to Zach at work. Oh my goodness, this dog is the death of me. And then again at 4 I nurse her, and then at 8 o'clock I nurse her, and then we usually, around 9, we usually get ready for bed, so we give her a bath and play with her a little bit, and then read her a story or whatever, and then I nurse her again at 10. So there's only a 2 hour difference between those two because I want her to be completely full before she goes to sleep. So I nurse her at 10, and then she goes to sleep, and she usually sleeps for 6 hours. Which is awesome for at her age. Like, I don't know many babies who sleep for 6 hours at 2 months, but she does, and it's awesome. So she usually wakes up around 4:15, 4:30, and I nurse her again, and then she goes right back to sleep until 8, which the day starts over again. So that is our schedule at the moment. She's doing super good with it. Sometimes it'll like switch over. I don't know how this happens, but sometimes it switches over and she ends up nursing at 6 o'clock. I think sometimes she sleeps longer and she ends up nursing at 6 o'clock, and then it switches to 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11, 12, so it's 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock again, which kind of works with her bedtime too, because I nurse her at 6 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock we get ready for bed, and then 10 o'clock I nurse her and she goes to sleep. So sometimes she'll get that full feeding. Oh, this is so cute, guys. I have to show you. So Adeline's laying here, and Kiara just came and laid right beside her. Aww. Hey, Adamini. You want to be in Mommy's video? Yeah, of course you do. Aw. Okay. Now we're on to like the tips parts. I know when I first was in the hospital with Adeline, she like would not latch onto my boob, and I know it's so hard at that point, and most moms are just like, okay, she's not latching, like let's just go to the formula. For me, it was more like, okay, we're gonna make her latch because yeah, there's no other option here. I really want to nurse her, we're gonna make her latch. So I had like the nurses help me and stuff, and they would literally just like push her head onto my boob until she latched, and finally like 3 days later maybe, like I would like kind of like get little drops in there, but other than that, like until like the 3rd day she like actually latched on, and she had like a good like 30-minute feeding, and that was like the first time she fed. So it does take a bit, and it takes a lot of like motivation, and you really have to just keep trying and just keep putting her on there, and soon enough she'll latch. I know it hurts, it's obviously painful, like your nipples are not used to being tugged on like that, and it is painful. I'm not gonna lie to you about that, but really you just went through labor. Like, tough through it, like you can do it because there's so much benefits to it in the end, and in the end it does feel better. Like, it only takes a few weeks, and I know that seems like a lifetime, but in the end it stops hurting. Like, it stops hurting. So Lanolin, I think it is called. There's like this product, you can ask your nurse about it or your doctor because they'll probably know, but it like, if you have cracked nipples and they're painful or anything, mine bled, so this like helped me a lot. I would just put it on like before feeding and after feeding because it's fine for them to nurse with it on, and it does wonders. Like, it works wonders, guys. Hey, baby girls, you're okay. You're okay. What's this? Oh, what's that? She's just staring at Kiara. It's so cute. It still sometimes hurts for me for like the first minute or so of her nursing. And I know like they tell you like if it hurts, pull them off right away. But I'm gonna give you the opposite advice. Leave her on, or leave him or her on. Just deal with it for the 1 minute, because after that 1 minute, it feels fine. Like I don't know if this is just with her, but I would definitely give you the advice to try this. Like, I'm not a doctor or anything, so don't like completely take my advice like over everything. But like I left her on after that, and like it would hurt, and I would just be like, no, it's okay, I can tough it out, and I would leave her on, and then a minute later, it just wouldn't hurt anymore. Like, I think my nipples might just like, they might have just been like sensitive at first, and then they get used to it. So definitely try that. I don't know if it doesn't work after that 1 minute, obviously take them off, because you don't want to like ruin your nipples, obviously, if their like tongue is messed up in there or something. I don't know. Nipple shields are awesome. I didn't have to use one, but I know if you have like shorter nipples, like nipple shields are definitely the way to go. I've heard those working like super well. And try different positions too. Sometimes the football hold will do better. Sometimes like laying down might be better. Like, there's lots of different positions to use. I just had her like up like this, propped on a pillow, and that worked for me. But I know like one of my sister's friends, she always had to do it in the football hold or it wouldn't work. And like, yeah, there's just definitely different ways to do it, that's for sure. And then for signs of infection, if you're getting engorged, go in the bath, or definitely like self-lactate or whatever it's called, because their problems can happen. I were engorged, I would just like let them leak out themselves and put a breast pad on and just like let them leak themselves. I never like self-engorged or I never like did it myself, because I didn't think it was like a big deal and it didn't bother me that much. But you definitely need to do that, because what happens is you can get an infection, and what I got is called mastitis. And I noticed there was like a red bump on my boob, and it like wasn't a bump, but it was like really hard, and it was like hot, like heat was always coming from it, and it hurt. It felt like like a big bruise. Like as soon as I touched it, it would like hurt. So even if I moved my arm, it would hurt. I ended up getting a fever, and I was so sick for like a whole day with like this really bad fever, and I was like, hey, something's not right. And I looked up like postpartum infections and things like that, and I noticed that I probably did have mastitis. So I went to the doctors and I got medication for it. So definitely just like be aware of infections in general, because my doctor ended up telling me that if I didn't come in, if I didn't like recognize that, if it got to a later stage, they would have had to like remove my boob. So like literally like just chop off my boob. Obviously it wasn't like close to that extent of like it being that bad, but definitely be aware of that, of like those type of infections and everything, because something bad could happen. Like definitely just like know your body and be aware. That is all that I can think of about breastfeeding at the moment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Love you guys. Bye.